What is up, everyone? This is Adrian,
And my name is Joshua, and
and you're listening to the Atomy
HemoHIM
podcast.
Now, before we begin, we do want to explain this because we're not doctors and we're not professional professors or doctors. We're only going to be talking about this product on testimonials, experiences, and also what is written on the description. So that way we are not disclosing anything, we're not quoting anything medically, none of that. Okay, so if you guys are listening to this and something happens to you, that's up to you. But I don't even think that's gonna happen because we've never actually had any experiences or
Any
heard
side
of
effects from taking
from
this?
other people. So, but we are still going to explain to you what what it is that happens to other people, how they loved it, and the testimonies that they've been giving. So that way, you guys have the fuller experience and understanding that this product is just phenomenal. It is open for anybody, for any age, even 2-year-olds take it. Even my dog takes it.
Yes.
And she is very healthy, and she's like 15 years old, still jumping on couches, and she's a very small chihuahua. Okay, so now that we have disclosed all of that, we are going to be talking about the HemoHIM. The HemoHIM is the very first product all over the of Atomy, and this is actually the reason why Atomy have existed, is so that way they're able to give this and to all consumers at the most premium price, so that way they have all the inconvenience of it. We are going to explain to you about the history about it, and that way you're able to see our principle and our model. Now, before we begin, the most effective diagnosis for this is the immunity. The reason why it's immunity is because many people who were actually sick have experienced that this HemoHIM has made it so that they are very, very healthy, and now they're actually becoming less sick. So, what is immunity? You might be wondering, right?
Yeah.
Some people may know, some people may not, so I'm going to be explaining to those who actually don't know how immunity works. So it's the ability to resist a particular infection or toxin through preventing development of pathogenic microorganisms. What that means is basically it prevents your body from deteriorating from toxins or infections. Okay, so how does the dietary health supplement boost our immune system? To maintain the healthy immune system, your immunocytes must be functioning properly, which the HemoHIM does, and it also increases the immunocytes or controls their functions to help your immune system more more results.
Yeah.
So that is pretty much what immunity is. Now, what immunocytes do, okay? What they do is, how they make it is that it'll awaken your immunocytes, that your exhausted immunocytes. That's a very good plus. Like, I know people who had suffered leukemia, right?
Yes.
I've been looking all over YouTube, and many people who had suffered leukemia are explaining like that they're not feeling sick anymore. Because I know people who are diagnosed with leukemia have very, very low tolerance of immunities, right? But as they are taking the HemoHIM 2 times, 3 times a day, by helicopter. Anyway, that was the helicopter. So, where was I? So those who actually had leukemia and they're explaining that, I've been taking this 2 times, 3 times a day, now are feeling like they are more healthy, right? They're healthier. They are not getting sick anymore. They're less pale too. They've been explaining. I don't actually have friends who do have leukemia, but I heard, right? I've heard of many stories that they are very pale, and that's all because they have that lack of immunity and probably because of lack of pigmentation, but I'm not 100% sure, but that's what they said. So Atomy has partnered with the second largest governmental institute, which is KAERI.
KAERI.
Yes, and KAERI stands for,
That one?
yeah, right here.
Oh, so KAERI stands for Korea Atomic Energy Research Institute as a national project. So each ingredient is individually approved by the Ministry of Food and Drug Safety as a functional health supplement ingredient. It is
Yes.
actually included here in the packet. I mean the box.
Yes, and also this is patented in Korea, USA, Japan, and Europe. They all have acknowledged that this is very effective and very good, and you'll be able to see, if you go on YouTube, you can actually see a lot, like on the news, like, oh, this is very effective product. Unfortunately, it's not sold at the hospitals. However, you do have the opportunity to make the purchases here with us, and the best part is you can
It's
take this
free.
365 days.
This one.
Oh, it's not free. You gotta pay for the product, but
Oh,
the
I thought
membership
the
is free.
membership.
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the membership, but okay.
Oh yeah. So yes, it is free for membership, so that you can make your purchases at a discounted price. Okay.
Yes.
And this is, just remember that KAERI actually is the second largest governmental
Government.
issued research institute, and we all know the first government issued research institute
Which is
most
NASA.
funded is NASA, yes, and number 2 is KAERI. So their technology is prominent, very good, and there's nothing that you can doubt about that company. If you do have your doubts about that research institute, that non-governmental institute, you can always check on the website.
There's always
KAERI.
Google.
Correct. So you guys can also see how great it is, also how prestigious and reputable they are. If you still saying, oh, this is so iffy, we do have sources. Okay,
Yes.
we do have sources. All you need to do is just go online, go to Scholars, and you can click on HemoHIM. Many different universities, institutes, research areas, facilities, departments made countless research, and there is nothing they can explain that is better than HemoHIM. So, and if you are still doubting all of that, well, then listen to all of the testimonies. Okay, the testimonies don't lie, right? They are a living proof. Yes, living proof that this is so effective. Another proof, right? Like my sister.
Yeah.
I was shocked, right? But what happened was, basically she went to a friend's house, and they ensured, like, okay, make sure that nobody is sick, right? There was a gathering of like 5 people, I think, right? And that one person, right, she's kind of old, maybe like 40, 50, right? Even though she's been showing symptoms, she decided to come. Wow, right? That's pretty messed up. So she decided to come, and she, of course, infected all of those other 4 individuals,
they're, like,
including my
exposed.
sister, right? So my sister comes home. Of course, we don't know, but the problem is she doesn't take HemoHIM. But me, my mother, my father, we all take HemoHIMs, right? So our immune system is just top notch. And she comes home the next day, right? She was saying, Mom, I can't taste anything. And then, of course, I hear it from the side, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Try this. And she's like, yeah, it tastes like nothing. I'm like, are you sure? She's like, yes. So I was like, okay, she might have corona. So what I'm gonna do is tell her, hey, you gotta eat HemoHIM, because HemoHIM will actually help you recover quicker, right? She's like, oh, but I don't like the taste. It's so herbal. It's like so, like, I don't like it, and blah blah blah, and all of that, right? Like, you know how kids whine, right? So I said, well, good news is you can't taste.
Yes.
She's like, oh, okay, fine. So she's been taking it for 2 times a day. And then
like after 3 days, you said
her
taste buds is like
recovered.
back.
Yeah, her taste buds recovered. She had no sign of headaches anymore. She was not vomiting. She was not having any diarrhea. She was basically healthy after 3 days.
Yeah.
And we don't actually see that anywhere around the world. They always say you're like basically on the in your bed for like 2 weeks, right? For 2 weeks, and then
still doesn't look sick,
right? But she's like active and going after 3 days. Of course, she was quarantined in her room, but she's like, now that I'm not sick anymore, I don't know what to do. I'm just like laying here doing nothing because 2 weeks, right? But yeah, that's how effective it is. Like, even me, like, I have a living proof that HemoHIM really does work, and it really does improve your immunocytes. And there's even more functions. I'm only talking about the immunocytes portion, right? There are more functions
with this.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, let's explain more, right? Let's explain more. So, the main 3 ingredients, right, is what they used in HemoHIM. And Adrian, you can explain this part.
Okay, so the 3 main ingredients are Angelica gigas or gigas or Cnidium officinale, and what's that one? Piona?
Pina
japonica. So with the composition of these 3 main ingredients, HemoHIM mixed herbal extra complex was developed through years of research from the Food and Biotechnological team of Korea Atomic Energy Research Institute, or KAERI.
Right. So this is very amazing because HemoHIM, the scientist who developed this HemoHIM, was thinking like, what is there a way to ensure that people are very healthy? Now we all know that all sorts of disease is now from the blood, right? Even like HIV, in order to attack our immune system, they have to attack our blood, right, in the spine. Or even leukemia, in order for them to stop having immunocytes, right, they have to attack the blood, right? Or if you're having a cold, where do they attack? The blood cells and the DNA, right? So now we all know that all sorts of disease comes from the blood, and it makes sense because 70 or is it 80% of our body is made from blood. Right? So like, I mean, yeah, so that's why they've considered, okay, so if we know that all sorts of disease comes from the blood, then we should develop a dietary supplement that helps cleansify, detox the blood, and also reproduce good new blood, right? So what's amazing, of course, we're not doctors, okay?
Yeah.
But what's amazing is that what they've been saying is that every time you take this HemoHIM, it actually starts to produce more blood, not just from the body, but inside your bone marrow. And we all know that all the blood from the bone marrow are very pure, very clean, and very how would you say, new, right? So they are helping us produce more blood, hemoglobin, right? So we know that blood is not just red blood cells, right? It's NK cells, transfer cells, etc., etc. But
it's a lot.
It's all being produced in our bone marrow, right? And it's being produced all throughout our body. Like, I took a blood test, right? And they're like, wow, your hemoglobin is really good. It's higher than normal. And I was like, oh, thanks. It's because of this. Okay.
Yes.
It's because of this, for sure. So, for more information, you do have the access to be able to go online, right? Atomy channel, or if you go to our Atomy website. Also, if you do want to make a membership, you are more than welcome. And if you did like our videos, you can always share to other people so that they know how great it is. If you have someone who is sick, don't just keep this information to
Share this
yourself.
to them.
Yes.
This
Share
is
it to
really,
them.
really helpful.
And if you want to become the best person of that person's life, you can always gift this product to them. Okay? So please ensure that you guys give the best products to everyone. Now, another thing that's amazing is that the reason why they've actually developed this is actually for cancer cells.
Yes.
Amazingly, right? Now, we know in the doctoral, or not we, but I do, but many people may not know, but actually if they make a new recipe and they make a success rate, right? Like, hey, we've cured HIV, let's say, for example, right? And if their success rate is 10%, I heard, right? I'm not 100% sure, but if you think I'm wrong, if you know I'm wrong, go ahead and give me the comments, because you know I love to learn. But they explained that 10% is actually an A plus success rate. We all know if we're at school and we get 10%, that's a fail.
Yeah.
But in the scientific world, I heard that success rate for 10% is actually an A plus. What's amazing is that this, when they were experimenting on cancer patients, the success rate was 7 out of 10, which is 70%, right? So they shouldn't get an A plus. They should get an S plus 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 plus, right? Like splendid, for because they had developed a phenomenal product. So that means 7 out of the 10 people who had suffered cancer really did heal from this. And if you don't know, if you think I'm lying, I mean, YouTube, okay?
Yes,
YouTube, Google,
everywhere.
It's everywhere. Like, you can see all these testimonies everywhere. I'm not giving you any lies.
Plus, it's global testimonies, not just here in the States.
It's not only here in the States, but global. You can hear it from Korea, Japan, Philippines, everywhere.
And
So, test results in human application. So, NK cells.
NK cells, these are natural killer cells, right?
Correct. So basically your white blood cells.
So they are developed in the bone marrow. So NK cells play a major role in rejecting of virally infected cells in our body.
And then also we have enhanced cytokine production, which is our signal transportation. We call it the transfer cells. It's a lot simpler than that, but this is so that way you're able to transfer, right, proteins and also roles of the immune system around your body. And lastly, also is immunocyte activity.
It improves biodefense.
Right. So your body will stay healthy throughout your life. Okay. So another story that I've actually come across is, of course, through YouTube, right? And sure enough, this person actually came to the seminar, and she was explaining, like, she was on second stage of cancer, going into her third. I think it was a tumor in her brain or something like that. And the doctor came, right? Well, the group of scientists who actually had this HemoHIM came and explained to her, saying, hey, since we have this technology that we've developed, and we want to use you to be able to see if it really does help useful, right? Well, and then in her case, she's already super skinny. She lost a lot of her hair just because of all the chemotherapy that she had to go through. And she was on the verge of death, and she of course said, you know what, if this is going to help me and cure me, then why not take the risk, right? So she's been taking 3 per day, and sure enough, I think it was after 3 to 4 months, she was completely healed, and she's like back running, she's eating again, and then a lot of doctors were saying like, oh, it's a miracle. And I was like far-fetched. I'm like, is that true? But then
it's like unbelievable.
right, right. But it's interesting because she actually showed living proof, like pictures. This is where I was when I was in the hospital a few years back. This is what happened to me before. This is how I look like now. And she was explaining that in the seminar. I was like, okay, if that's proof enough, like what more proof should I get? That's all the evidence you can actually get. So that's really amazing. Now the history, right? We do know that Atomy has the principle of absolute quality and with absolute price. Correct. So when 10 years back, right, since Atomy only has 10 years of history, 10 years back, HemoHIM only had 30 supplements. Right now, for $92, right, in the United States, we have 60 packets. There are 6 packets in each box.
One box.
Okay, so if I were to open it, each packet looks like this. Okay, so 20 milliliters, which is a lot, right? You take 2 a day or 1 a day. It's up to your own preference. So when it first opened, actually, you may be surprised, but there were only 30 packets per box, and of course, same price, $92. Yes, and then years later, they upgraded from 30 to 38. And then later, they upgraded again, 38 to 46. Same price.
Still same price.
Same price, right? And then they went from 46 to now 60. Was it 48? 48 or 46? But to 60.
60.
And then, so, still, price? Same price. The only reason why they were able to do that is because when the factory was able to find a way to mass produce this even more, our chairman said, you know what, let's put more packets in there. Now that we know how to produce more, price should be same, right? Price should be same.
Because a lot right now, if they have like bestsellers, they're gonna increase the price if more people are buying it.
Right.
Not just increase the price, but they're also decreasing the amount, the size, everything.
Right.
Just because people are buying it constantly.
Right. A lot of companies, what do they do even with Coke, right? What do they do? They put like, you don't realize a lot, but they put like a little hole on the bottom, right? Or something like that. Or like they make the thing slimmer, saying, oh, if it's slimmer, right? And they wouldn't notice and stuff like that. But I'm not talking about Coke, but I'm talking about like a lot of companies, right?
Yeah.
So
it's just an example
right.
of how some companies do it.
I love Coke, by the way, but yeah, that's the amazing part. Now, you may be wondering, okay, how does it look like? And then how does it taste? Well, the taste, I can't really explain. It's bittersweet. I'm going to say that. That's all I can say.
But now, if this is going to be like the first time you're going to try it, because I hated it when I tried it first time. It's really strong. But since I'm taking it for like, I don't know, I think I'm taking it for like a month now. Yeah, you are gonna actually get used to the taste, and you're actually gonna like it, and you wanna eat more.
Yeah, because I mean, people don't realize it, but if you think about it, our body reacts to it, which is funny. Like our body goes like, I need more of that blood.
Yeah. Right,
which is the HemoHIM. So it's very funny, but we're gonna go ahead and show it to you now.
Okay. So you just cut this through here, and then.
So it does kind of look like a little bit like gel, but it's also still watery. And you're always welcome to mix it with hot water or cold water. It's fine. And the best part is it is an oriental medicine, But you don't have to worry about only intaking it for 6 months. You can actually take it 365 days. It's the first and ever from R&D that they approved that this can be taken every single day. Okay, so that's a revelation in Oriental medicine.
And it smells good.
Yeah, because you've been using it, you've been
Yes,
eating
but
it
if
for
it's
a
your
long
first time,
oh yeah, that smells good.
yeah, you're gonna react.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, it does show quantum results. I do recommend it for anybody, even if you're healthy or not, because I'm 28, right? And if I don't take care of my body now, like how much of a toll would I have when I'm 60, right?
Yes.
That's what I realized. You have to preserve your body now to have a healthier body later.
Even when you're young. Yes.
Right. So anyone is allowed to eat it, drink it. Like even my other friend, another testimony, she has a child who actually has a little bit of brain function, right? But then she realized that after feeding her, right, the HemoHIM, like her brain function actually developed. I'm like, how? She's like, well, I don't know in the x-ray form, but
Yeah.
she's actually learning so much faster. She's speaking now. She's actually, showing reactions like emotions and all of that. She's, basically becoming normal. And I was like, really? From HemoHIM? She's like, yeah, I couldn't believe it myself, but that's the only thing I fed her, nothing else. And I was like, really? That's interesting. Of course, it is her testimony. You can either believe me or not, but that is her testimony. So, if you really like the video, if you like listening to this,
Yes.
do subscribe, follow us, give us a like, share it to other people. We do love your support, right? Comment, say, hey, I love your videos. That will give us a moral support. So,
Yeah.
seriously.
So we are on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well for this podcast, and a lot of more podcast platforms. And yeah, follow and subscribe. We do upload every Friday at 10 a.m.
Right? And we will ensure that we give you the best information as we can, of course. And also, we do have exclusives, so if we do feel that we want to give one more video for all of you guys, we will let you guys know, of course. And we've decided, since there's so much product, sometimes we're probably going to do 2 times a week.
Yeah.
And if so, we will let you guys know. And later, we might even do like other informations. Like you might be wondering, like, if I'm able to receive cash back, how does that work, right? Well, we're actually thinking of doing one. We'll let you guys know when and soon, so that way you guys can have access to that. You can share with other people how this can actually give you guys cash back. And I'm telling you this, it's way better than any store
Yeah.
that gives you cash back. Like if you even have discounts and cash back, I consider.
Yeah, because cashbacks are like a little bit of percentage.
Right.
Let's say
In percentage, I would say
3.
no.
3 or less than 3%.
I think-
cashback.
No. It's more like 10%.
Oh.
It's almost 10% cash back. Right? So that's a lot from any store. We'd be happy if we got like a couple dollars, right? But the purchases from Atomy, first quality, right? Price, very cheap. On top of that, almost 10% cash back. I'd consider. And we can show it to you. All right. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for listening to our Atomy podcast. We do have it on YouTube too, so you can always watch us and give us a subscribe.
And tune in next week. And yeah.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.